I want to start this video off by making something really clear because I've noticed a lot that social media is ruining junk journaling. So, in case you're trying to start junk journaling or you're struggling with keeping up with junk journaling is not supposed to be expensive. Okay, now that that's out of the way, today's video is going to be all about junk journaling, my experience. I'm going to show you some of mine, and we're going to be deep diving into the 2026 junk journal because I finally was able to choose one. So I'm gonna show you all of that. First off, what is junk journaling and how is it different from scrapbooking? Now, disclaimer, this is from my own knowledge. This is from my observations because I've been in the scrapbooking, junk journaling, or journaling in general world for quite a bit. Not necessarily publicly, but in my own personal life, I've been, diving into these because I love this kind of project. So I could be wrong and you might have a different opinion. That's fine, but I'm going to give you the explanation that I believe to be the one, or at least the one that makes sense to me. Scrapbooking started as a way to make photo albums not so boring. Way back in the day when we were more offline, social media wasn't a thing. You probably remember parents, families had photo albums that were just pages of pictures in sleeves, and that's it. You would maybe get an album that on the outside was really pretty, but on the inside it was mostly just pages of images that you would just go through, and that's it. Scrapbooking came, I think, as a way to make that more fun. Usually, scrapbooking is something that revolves around the images that you are saving. And so you put the picture and you decorate around it with something that has to do with what the picture represents. So let's say you have a baseball game. Well, maybe that sheet is going to be baseball themed. Or you went to the beach. Well, every decoration around it is going to be like beach stuff, like palm trees and beach balls and, sand, the sea, whatever. And so that's what scrapbooking, at least for me, represents as an essence. It is a more fun way to have a photo album. Now, that has evolved a lot, so people do add a lot of stuff, but scrapbooking itself, I believe that's what it is. Junk journaling, on the other hand, the same word says it, junk. That is the main aspect of a junk journal. It's a way to memory keep that doesn't need pictures. It's supposed to be focused on junk that you find. So places that you've been to, places that you've visited, you get all of these stuff that usually either end up on the trash or end up in a drawer somewhere. That can be a promotion of something. It can be a business card. It can be a pamphlet for something, a flyer, I don't know, you name it. Anything that you can find from a place that you went to that you don't want to throw away, but you also don't want to have stash in a drawer and just there for eternity, you put into a junk journal because the junk journal will allow you to keep that and remember that day, organize it, and be creative with it. So technically, the essence of a junk journal is collecting little things from here and there that you can put in there. And it's supposed to literally just be the junk that you find, scissors, glue, tape, and that's it. That's what a junk journal in essence is. But as we progress and as we get more creative and as the community has evolved and people have been experimenting with different things, it has gotten expensive. And now I see that a lot of beginners think that in order for them to actually do junk journaling, they have to have the expensive stickers and all the washi tape and all the scrapbooking paper and all of these materials that when you put them all together, they get expensive. Like even choosing the journal gets so expensive because people are aiming for these very expensive, very thick paper, very pretty on the outside, whatever you want to name it, kind of journals. And that, in my opinion, takes away the fun, especially if that's not something that you can afford. And I feel like we've been losing the essence of what junk journaling is and what it's supposed to mean in your life because we're so caught up in the aesthetics. We're so caught up in having the best stickers, the best materials, all of these things to put into the junk journal. And I've even noticed how people are calling junk journaling things that don't have an ounce of junk. That's journaling. That's maybe art journaling, that's maybe some other kind of journaling, but in my opinion, that's not junk journaling. If you have a page, or like if the entire journal, I should say, is all washi tape scrapbook and like all of these other designs, and it's all bought, and it's all part of like materials that you had got from for journaling, that's just journaling. That's not junk journaling. Junk journaling needs to have junk. It needs to have materials that help you memory keep, things that come for free usually, or things that are the remnants of something that you bought, that will remind you of that moment, of that day, of that experience, of that project, whatever it is that you're doing. So, yes, it is still very valid. It is still very much journaling. It's just not junk journaling if it doesn't have junk. Like, I feel like that's kind of obvious. But anyway, so as you go on doing your junk journaling, you can do as I did. I started off with the basics. And as I've been getting better, I've been collecting materials slowly. I go to Walmart maybe and I find a 96-cent sticker pack. I get it. I have a couple dollars extra. I go to a thrift store. Maybe they have some cute paper. I go and I buy it. You know, I get, I don't know, a sticker pack, a mystery sticker pack. Well, this now is my junk that I put into the journal. If I buy a mystery box, I save the box and I put it in there. Do I use stickers? Do I use washi tape? Do I use all of these things? Yes. But I use them in combination with the junk, which makes it junk journaling. Otherwise, it's just art journaling or creative journaling in some other kind, in my opinion, again. So let me show you what I mean by that. This is my 2025 junk journal. Look how thick this is. Are these stickers that I bought? Yes, actually, the majority of these are stickers that I got gifted for my birthday, because that's when I started this junk journal. And I already had the journal. I got it for like $8 at Menards, which who buys a journal in Menards? I do, apparently. So I got this at Menards. And I started the journal. Yes, I did print pictures. Again, I printed them at home. But you don't have to print pictures. I have these that I bought for my friends for Valentine's, and I took one and I put it in my journal. And then I had all of my friends create a page so that I could then stick it in here. So I'm not going to show a lot of that, but basically they were the ones that designed each of their own pages. And as we went through the trip, I collected stuff. So this is a free map pamphlet thing that I got from a bookstore that we went to. This is from one of the gifts that I got. This is literally the cardboard thing that one of the keychains, I think, that one of my friends got me, came in. These are the nails that one of my friends did for me. I taped them in there. When they fell off, I taped them in there. So it is junk. Those were supposed to be in the trash. Like, I used part of that same package as if it were washi tape, and then these I printed when I got home. I went to Build-A-Bear on my actual birthday and they gave me a sticker. There it is. I saved it. And there's so much stuff. Like, I cut up the map from the botanical garden that we went to, and it's in here. Like, this is the free map. I did buy a postcard because I wanted to have it in there. And yes, like I said, I've printed pictures. I did buy stickers there as a gift for myself, but you don't have to. That's the point that I want to get across. You can, but you don't have to. And you evolve into reaching this point. You're not supposed to have to buy things straight up off the bat and make like a hundreds of dollars purchase in order to get started. These are things that you slowly build a stash of, and then you use them. This is also a great way for you to get unstuck whenever you have those issues of, I have all of these stationery and I'm afraid to use it because it's so pretty. Junk journaling is a great way to make use of those because you're keeping this. These journals are meant to stay with you and are meant for you to look through as the years pass. And so, let me see if I can find one of my very heavy junk pages. So, went to Dunkin' Donuts. Here's the package. Went to Daiso. Here is the receipt from Daiso. And these are just random stickers. Like, this sticker was on the actual Dunkin' Donuts package. I do put stuff. I do decorate it. I do put materials. But I haven't done this in an expensive way at all. Like, this was another page that I met up with a friend. This is where we ate free. This is what came in one of the mystery packs that I bought from him. So I literally cut up the box as many times as I could so that I could put it here. Here is a business card from a business that was in the event that we went to. And these I had. Some of the stickers he gifted me. And then these are things that I came up with my computer and did them. You know, I printed them out. Again, another map from a bookstore that I absolutely love. The receipt. And this was something that I bought there, like a postcard that I bought there. This, like the musical notes on the back, I got it for free because they literally had nothing to do with them, so they gave them to me. So this is from another business that I visit frequently, and I got the receipt of what I bought there, which was actually the sticker because I wanted to put it in my junk journal. So, like, it does not. I also got some other stuff. That's why it's like $11. But it doesn't have to be expensive. You just have to be creative with it. Like, many of these things I've gotten gifted, or many of these have been stuff that I have stashed for years and years and years and years, and I didn't know what to do with them. And so I've tried to turn them into memory keeping. Like, for example, I bought a journal at some point that was a moleskin. Well, it was thrifted, by the way. Here's part of the cardboard of it, and here's the receipt of the place that I bought it because I got a whole bunch of other materials thrifted. So I put the receipt in here. Like, I do decorate my pages and I do make them pretty, but the essence of the pages has to be the junk. Like, look at this one. This one has so many different things from different places that I don't even remember. Like, receipts. This is from my cat toy that I got from my cat. Another place that we went to. Stickers that I got randomly in different places. Things that I cut out from business, like business cards or just like promotions from different places. Like, I made this themed page for one of my favorite places in town. This is their pamphlet, business card. This one was from a page that they had at the store that was their events. And then this was from a rack that they have a whole bunch of different teas. And this one's from a different business that has a table in there. And then these, as you can see, they're falling out. I got them thrifted. The stickers I got thrifted, that's why they're not as sticky. But you can find really beautiful materials at a thrift store because usually people give away the stuff that they're not using any longer and they're actually in really, really good condition. So honestly, I can keep going. Like, there's so many pages here. Like, this is one of my favorite ones, and this was entirely from an event that they do in my town that is journaling night or like collage night. And they are the ones that have a whole bunch of random, like, old magazines and newspapers and a whole bunch of stuff. And they provide all of the materials. Usually I bring my own journal so that I can keep it, but they have sheets of paper that you can work on. And I bring my own glue and everything so I don't have to be like taking from other people. But this is all old magazine stuff. Like, there's multiple pages actually because I went crazy that day and I made a whole bunch of them. Like, not that one, that's the Pokemon one, but you get my idea. This one is entirely from my first Pokemon deck. Every single thing that is on this page is basically how I cut up the box in the little packs and I just stuck them in here. This page is entirely junk. Entirely junk. This page signifies when I first started my Pokemon cards journey, which I have to get back into. Like, receipts, business card, receipts, maps, receipts, maps, like, all of it is junk. More junk. This was from a mini golf thing that I went with my friends. Like, there's so much that you can do with things that you get for free, things that you get gifted. Like, these were from one of those all you can eat like restaurants, and I literally took out and wiped down the little things that explain what each meat was, and I put them in here. Like, I'm telling you, it's about the creativity. It's about the attention that you put into grabbing things from different places. And making sure that you try to gather as much as you can. It's not so much about the fancy stickers, the fancy whatever the F you want to say. And I almost said the whole word, but you can do all the fancy stickers and the fancy paper and the fancy washi tape and whatever you want, but it doesn't have to be like that. And I feel like the more junk you have and less of that you have, the better it looks. Like, yes, decorate the pages and make them like crazy and colorful and fun, but let the junk stand out. I've seen so many beautiful spreads of people that gather so much aesthetic junk that is fantastic. It doesn't have to be fancy stuff. It can be from your town, it can be from the store next door, like anywhere that is meaningful to you, anywhere that you go and you had a special moment, or you were able to just gather the junk because you just happened to be there. Put it in your junk journal, because when you look back at it, you're like, wow, I did all of these things this year, and otherwise I wouldn't have remembered. So I feel like the core of junk journaling is that remembering your life, being able to remember the not so fancy stuff. You would obviously want to remember like the trips and all the fun things that you did, like really big stuff, but also remember the simple days, the days that maybe the only thing that you did was go to a coffee shop. Well, get something from there and put it in your junk journal and write something about it. Like, there are so many things that you can memory keep in your junk journal. So that is my main spiel with junk journaling itself. Now, let's get into 2026 junk journaling, because again, I want to show you how junk journaling does not have to be expensive. This is a very cheap sketch notebook from like Target or something. It's maybe like $5 or something like that. I don't know. And as you can see, it's just like plain paper. Now, I'm not going to necessarily show, but I'm kind of gonna show the fact that it's already written on. Like, I already started stuff. This was something that I was working on in therapy, and that I ended up like switching it to a different task. And so it was supposed to be a daily sketch journal. But I realized that that kind of journaling didn't really work for me. So what I'm going to be doing now is that let's see, let me look at how many pages I have that I used. Because I had an idea of ripping the pages that were used out, but now that I'm going through the journal, I'm realizing that I used actually a good amount of the pages. So if I were to rip all of the pages off, I would be ripping all of these. And we don't want to lose all of that and just be left with this. So instead of ripping the pages, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put stuff on top of them. So not right now, because I do have to go to work, but I wanted to get this video recorded. But this page is going to get a revamp, and it's probably going to use like stickers and all that stuff because it's gonna be the intro. But then what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna start like gluing things on top to cover what I already had. And so that's a great way for you to not lose the notebooks that you already have in your house and you don't know what to do with them, and you already started them. So now what? I recommend sketching notebooks because they're very affordable usually, and their pages are thicker than your normal notebook, but they don't have to be like that. Like, it can be anything. Like, if you have a journal that the pages are too thin, you can stick 2 pages together to make it a little sturdier, or you can create your pages on a separate sheet of paper and then stick it on top. So there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can do your junk journaling in a way that works for your budget, works for your time, works for your creativity, works for wherever stage in life you are, because the point is to gather materials and to create something that you're proud of. So with that, I'm gonna leave it at that because I've been talking long enough. And I hope that you go get inspired and do some junk journaling this year. And don't put so much pressure on yourself. There's no rules with junk journaling. Just express yourself the way that you want to. At the end of it, it's supposed to represent who you are. And if you want to go all out and have all of the fancy stuff, do it. If you don't want to do that, then don't do it. Like, it doesn't have to be expensive. It'll only be as expensive as you make it. So go junk journal, have fun, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.